As a busy dad and hardcore gamer reluctantly turned filthy casual, I seek out any opportunities to get my gaming fix in short, interruptible bursts whenever I'm gaming. On PC, that means my favorite classic arcade shooters, at least. The ones that still have player bases. Damn BR's taking away my fun. Or old school RuneScape for that ultimate mouse-click durability test. Pokemon if I can tolerate the cramped experience of my handhelds as I age, and of course, I keep coming back and trying mobile games. That's where Platinum Games' latest title, World of Demons, comes in. I know. Mobile games are all bad money-milking machines, and no true gamerest of gamers would dare partake in such plebbery. Hell, I even wrote a piece for my college newspaper and made a video about this very idea back in 2014. The thing is, Apple is actually working to shift the public perception of mobile games and seems to be investing in the development of a new category of games. Games for mobile devices. That sounds the same, right? Well, mobile games are the usual runners, clickers, microtransaction farms. Meanwhile, to me, games for mobile devices are just video games. Normal games you totally would buy on a real gaming platform, and would often prefer to, that lack any of the obnoxious stuff and just happen to release on mobile as their platform. One of the big leading titles actually worth paying the Apple Arcade subscription for is World of Demons, a hack-and-slash game that gives you the best of Platinum's own Bayonetta with the world of a traditional samurai game like Nioh and the art style of Okami. You play as a samurai, Onimaru, and his growing band of compatriots, traveling between the mortal realm and hell, hacking, slashing, dodging, and summoning your own demons to destroy other demons and unlock the mystery of Onimaru's origins, I think? I still haven't quite figured that one out yet. The dialogue is super cheesy. It feels like I'm playing a typical 90s Western release where video game writers hadn't really become a job yet, but framed in an otherwise, mystical and Japanese-looking game. It's a weird juxtaposition. The game is gorgeous, though. The inked outline style really plays nicely with the mobile displays to give you a good contrast and visibility, and the effects generally feel pretty nice. This feels like a quality console-like title, at least when playing on the small screen. It doesn't always look super hot blown up. Controls feel okay. About what I'd expect for a game that would normally require 2 thumbsticks to be played on mobile. The flat screen just doesn't give you the feedback to keep your thumbs in the right place, and this is the same with all mobile games that do this. And looking around just gets real weird. That being said, the game has full gamepad support, so I had a much better time playing with my DualShock 4 controller instead, but that starts to remove the whole on-the-go aspect a bit. With that in mind, just how is the dad factor here? The game is long. This is a fully developed console progression experience here, which means you don't have to worry about finding another game anytime soon. But it's broken up into chapters and levels. This means it's a lot easier to jump in and out, being rewarded with Bayonetta or Devil May Cry style scores for different challenges and combos and the like. Replayability is high, especially since each area completion unlocks a gamut of subquests to complete and earn more rewards. You earn experience for each of your samurai, unlock different weapons in 3 different types, unlock different yokai to summon and battle with, and level up the weapons and yokai on their own as well. You can really start to feel yourself getting more powerful over time. You can become even more powerful if you take the time to balance your weapon and yokai types versus what the enemies you expect to encounter in the level are, but that requires you to actually pay attention. The issue here is that the length of the levels can vary wildly, and there's no save points within them. Sometimes you start a new chapter and be in and out in 8 minutes. Others, it takes half an hour and you still don't have an area completed, or there's a big boss left to fight, and you have to make the really hard decision between returning to your familial responsibilities and, normal life and trucking through the same level again, or falling for sunken cost and keep going 1 more minute. Wife approval factor is at a low there. The subquests are usually quite short, however, with many having primary objectives of beating them in 120 seconds or less, so you can prioritize those during very busy times and play through the story during your actual sit-down you time, if you get any of that. Performance is rock solid too. I can confirm using GameBench, a tool that allows you to analyze frame rates on iOS and Android devices, that both the iPad and iPhone versions run at a rock-solid 60 FPS. Now, I do want to note that the gameplay footage in this video will not all be a silky smooth 60 FPS, since I'm relying on the iOS screen recorder for most of it, especially since the iPhone only outputs about 45 FPS over HDMI anyway for some reason. Too bad that while the game adjusts to the aspect ratio of the iPad Pro, it seems to not run at any higher resolution and just looks softer instead. It also only runs at 60 FPS instead of 120 Hz. Bummer. Maybe an iPad Pro patch will come later? I don't think mobile games work this way. I have had issues going back and forth between my iPad and iPhone using Apple Arcade Sync. Progress from my iPhone syncs to my iPad pretty much straight away. But every time I play on my iPad, the only way I can get to the data to sync back to my iPhone is to completely sign out of my Apple account on the iPhone, delete the game data, then reinstall the game and sign back in. And I'm not going through that again. I'm just not. The game even seems to have a built-in cloud saves menu, but it never does anything. There also seems to be an issue where the sound only plays when your ringer is on iPhone, even if, when games like Pokemon Go don't require that, so I have trouble getting sound out of the iPad. The best part about this being a mobile game is there are no microtransactions. You're paying for Apple Arcade, and that's it. In fact, there was an article about how Platinum had originally developed the game with being funded by microtransactions in mind. When Apple approached them about going the arcade route instead, they had to make some major overhauls that ultimately resulted in a better game. There's still some resource management for upgrading your weapons and yokai and such, but this is the same as you'd find in typical console or PC games of this genre, so it's not that big of a deal. Is World of Demons a good game to pick up as a filthy casual or busy dad? I'd say so. You may have to save some of the bigger missions for some proper, dedicated gaming time, and you might even find yourself wishing that it released on a console or the Switch or something like that instead of mobile, just because it's that good of a game, but it is a blast. This is a high-quality, real video game that anyone with an iOS device should pick up, especially if you're a fan of Platinum Games' back catalog. They make good stuff. That's it for me. Thanks for watching this episode of Filthy Casual. I'm EposVox. Hit the like button, get subscribed, join us on Discord at discord.gg/EposVox. We'll meet again.